Hi there, and welcome. I'm really glad you've joined me today, especially for a topic that, while not always easy to talk about, may be one of the most important ones we face as we get older. If you're over 70 or caring for someone who is, you've probably heard people say things like, oh, that's just part of aging, or you're just getting older. It's normal, and yes, some changes are natural. Our energy levels shift. Our joints may ache a little more, and our sleep patterns might not be what they once were. But here's the truth that too many people don't hear until it's too late. Not all changes are harmless. In fact, some of the earliest signs of serious health decline are so subtle, so quiet, that we brush them off as just getting old when in reality, they're the body's early warning system asking us to pay attention. That's what today's video is all about. I want to walk you through 8 hidden signs of silent health decline that often go unnoticed after age 70. These signs might not be dramatic. They won't always show up in a blood test, but they can quietly affect your strength, your balance, your brain, your heart, and your future. And the best part, every one of these signs, when caught early, can be managed, reversed, or slowed down. This is not about fear. It's about awareness. Because the more you know, the more power you have to protect your independence, your dignity, and your well-being. So let's begin one quiet warning sign at a time. Sign 1, subtle changes in the way you walk. Let's start with something that might seem minor at first glance: your walk. You might not even notice it at first. Maybe you're walking a little slower than you used to. Maybe your steps feel shorter, or your feet drag just slightly more than they did a few months ago. Maybe you're using the furniture around the house for balance without thinking about it. And when someone points it out, the response is usually, oh, I'm just getting older. But here's the thing, your gait, how you walk, is one of the most revealing indicators of your overall health, especially after age 70. It reflects the strength of your muscles, the coordination of your nervous system, and even the sharpness of your brain. Several studies have found that a slow or shuffling gait can be an early warning sign of neurological issues, balance problems, or even cognitive decline. In fact, research has linked changes in walking speed to an increased risk of falls, mobility loss, and even dementia. And yet, because it doesn't hurt, and because it happens gradually, many people ignore it. They adapt without realizing it. They stop walking as far. They avoid stairs. They hold on to railings more than they used to. The body adjusts, but that doesn't mean it's okay. So, what should you look out for? If you find that you're not lifting your feet as much, if your stride has shortened, if your balance feels slightly off when turning or stepping on uneven ground, these are not just signs of age. They could be early signs of muscle weakening, nerve changes, or coordination issues, and catching them early matters. The good news: there's a lot you can do. Gentle strength training, regular balance exercises, physical therapy, and walking practice can make a world of difference. The key is to notice the change and respond before a fall or injury happens. Don't wait until someone else tells you you're walking differently. Pay attention now. How you move through the world is a reflection of how your body's aging, and you have more influence over it than you think. Your stride is your strength in motion, and if it's changing, it's time to ask why. Sign 2, a quiet loss of appetite or taste. Here's another change that can sneak up on you without much fanfare. Food just doesn't taste the same anymore. Or maybe you find yourself skipping meals, not because you're dieting, not because you're trying to be healthier, but simply because you're not hungry. It may not seem like a big deal. After all, many people think eating less is a natural part of getting older. But the truth is, a noticeable drop in appetite or a dulling of taste and smell can be an early sign of underlying health issues. And when these changes go unnoticed, they can lead to silent but serious consequences. After age 70, the body needs high-quality nutrition more than ever. Protein to maintain muscle mass, vitamins and minerals to support heart, bone, and brain function, hydration to keep everything working smoothly. When your appetite disappears, so does the intake of all those essential nutrients, and your body slowly begins to feel the difference. What causes this change? Sometimes it's medication. Many common prescriptions affect taste buds, dry out the mouth, or cause nausea. Sometimes it's linked to changes in the senses. Smell and taste receptors weaken with age, making food less flavorful and less appealing. Sometimes it's emotional. Loneliness, depression, or anxiety can dull the desire to cook or eat, especially if you're eating alone most days. The danger is in the slow fade. People lose weight without trying. They lose strength without noticing. They become more prone to fatigue, falls, infections, and slower healing. And yet, because there's no pain involved, many families and caregivers miss the signs until the person is noticeably weaker. So, what should you watch for if meals don't interest you like they used to? If you're skipping breakfast more often? If you're relying mostly on toast, crackers, or coffee to get by? Take it seriously. If you notice food doesn't taste quite right, or if you're losing weight unintentionally, it's time to talk to your doctor or a nutritionist. Small changes can help. Eating smaller meals more frequently, adding herbs or spices to enhance flavor, using protein shakes or fortified snacks to supplement nutrition, and, most importantly, making meals a moment of connection, not just function. Your body is still doing its best for you, but it can't run on empty, so feed it with care, even if the hunger isn't loud, because silent appetite loss is more than just a nuisance. It's a whisper of decline you don't want to ignore. Sign 3, sleeping more than usual, but still feeling tired. We all know that sleep is essential. After all, good rest is what helps your body repair, your mind reset, and your energy recharge. But what happens when you're sleeping more than ever, and yet still waking up tired? If you're over 70 and finding yourself dozing off during the day, taking long naps, or sleeping through the night only to wake up feeling drained, it's time to pay attention. Because excessive sleepiness paired with low energy can be more than just old age, it may be one of the quieter signs of underlying health decline. Let's start with what's normal. As we age, sleep patterns do shift. You might go to bed earlier or wake up a bit sooner. You may not sleep quite as deeply as you used to, but needing 9, 10, or more hours of sleep every day and still feeling exhausted is a sign that something deeper may be going on. There are several possible causes. Sometimes it's related to poor sleep quality, sleep apnea, restless legs, or frequent nighttime bathroom trips can prevent the body from reaching the deep, restorative stages of sleep even if you're in bed for hours. Other times, it's linked to medical conditions like heart failure, low thyroid function, chronic infections, or even early-stage neurological changes such as Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. And in many cases, excessive tiredness can be connected to depression, which often shows up in older adults as fatigue, disinterest, or a general sense of heaviness. Unfortunately, many people brush it off. They say, "I'm just slowing down," or "I guess I need more rest at this age." But constant fatigue is not something to ignore. It's your body's way of saying something isn't working quite right, and it deserves investigation. So what can you do first? Notice your patterns. Are you sleeping longer than usual? Are you falling asleep during the day unintentionally? Do you feel more sluggish even after a full night's rest? Bring those observations to your doctor. From there, small changes can make a big difference. Improving sleep hygiene, adjusting medications, treating underlying health issues, or exploring gentle exercise to boost energy naturally. Fatigue is not always just about sleep. It's often about imbalance, something physical, emotional, or hormonal that needs attention. You deserve to feel rested, not just in body, but in spirit. So don't settle for tired. Investigate it, because your energy is one of your greatest assets, and protecting it starts with listening when something feels off. Sign 4, memory slipping. But it's more than just senior moments. We've all had them, those little lapses in memory, walking into a room and forgetting why, struggling to remember a name that's right on the tip of your tongue. It's easy to laugh it off and say, well, that's just old age, right? But here's where I want you to pause. Yes, some mild memory changes are a normal part of aging, but when forgetfulness becomes more frequent, more frustrating, or starts interfering with everyday life, it's not something to brush aside. It may be a quiet sign of cognitive decline that deserves more attention. The tricky part is that it doesn't always look dramatic at first. You're not suddenly forgetting who you are or where you live. It starts small, misplacing items in strange places, struggling to follow conversations, losing your train of thought mid-sentence, or needing more and more reminders to complete simple tasks. One of the key differences between normal aging and concerning decline is this: with normal aging, you might forget part of something, but you eventually remember it. With early cognitive issues, the memory never comes back, or the confusion deepens over time. Another quiet red flag is a change in judgment or decision-making. Maybe you or someone you love starts falling for scams more easily. Maybe bills go unpaid or routines are disrupted. Or perhaps there's a shift in personality, becoming more irritable, withdrawn, or anxious without clear cause. It's not just about memory. It's about how the brain is functioning overall, how well it's processing, planning, reacting, and staying emotionally balanced. So, what should you do? The most important thing is to pay attention. If you notice these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't ignore them. Talk to a healthcare provider. Early evaluation can help rule out other causes like vitamin deficiencies, thyroid problems, medication side effects, or even depression, all of which can mimic memory issues. And if it does turn out to be the beginning stages of cognitive decline, know this early action gives you more choices, more time to plan, to treat, and to slow the progression with proper care, brain-stimulating activities, and lifestyle changes. We don't talk enough about brain health after 70, but we should, because a strong mind means a safer, more independent, more joyful life. Forgetfulness isn't always harmless, and you deserve to know the difference between a little slip and a serious signal. Sign 5, sudden mood swings or emotional changes that seem out of character. As we grow older, it's easy to assume that physical changes are the only ones that matter. But some of the earliest signs of silent health decline aren't physical at all. They're emotional, and they're often misunderstood, ignored, or worse, blamed on personality. Have you or someone you love suddenly become more irritable, withdrawn, anxious, or easily upset? Maybe small things trigger big reactions. Maybe you feel flat emotionally, like you're going through the motions without real joy. Or perhaps you're crying more often, or snapping at people when you never used to. It's easy to say, I'm just tired, or it's the stress. And sometimes that's true. But when these mood changes become frequent, intense, or feel out of character, they could be pointing to something deeper. Emotional shifts can be early signs of several health concerns, especially after age 70. Sometimes it's related to cognitive changes. The brain controls emotion regulation. And when that balance is disrupted, even slightly, mood becomes harder to manage. This can happen early in conditions like dementia or Parkinson's disease, long before other symptoms show. Sometimes it's chemical, hormonal changes, chronic inflammation, low vitamin B12, or imbalances in neurotransmitters can all affect mood. Depression in older adults often looks different from depression in younger people. Instead of sadness, it may show up as irritability, fatigue, or lack of interest in things once enjoyed, and sometimes it's simply loneliness. We underestimate how much human connection stabilizes our emotions. When that connection fades through retirement, loss of a spouse, distance from children, our inner world can feel empty. That emotional vacuum can lead to symptoms that look like a personality change, when really, it's a quiet form of grief. So what can you do first? Acknowledge that emotional health is health, just like blood pressure or cholesterol. Your mood deserves monitoring and care. If you or a loved one start experiencing emotional swings that feel unusual, talk to a doctor, rule out medical causes, ask about screenings for depression or cognitive function, and don't be afraid to seek therapy or counseling, even later in life. Also, reconnect with joy, rebuild your social circles, say yes to conversations, to laughter, to nature, to music. Mood is not fixed, it's fluid, and it can be nurtured. Your emotions are not weaknesses, they're signals. And when they begin to shift, they're trying to tell you something important. Listen early, heal gently, and remember, you are never too old to feel better. Sign 6. Losing interest in activities you once loved. Have you ever found yourself thinking, I just don't feel like it anymore? Even when it comes to things you used to truly enjoy. Maybe you used to love gardening, baking, taking walks, reading the newspaper, or meeting friends for coffee, but lately, those things feel more like a chore than a pleasure. You stop making plans, you stay home more, you let hobbies fade. And over time, you might not even notice that joy has quietly slipped out the back door. Losing interest in daily activities is one of the most subtle yet powerful signs of silent health decline, particularly emotional and mental health. It's easy to mistake it for fatigue, aging, or even laziness. But in reality, this kind of withdrawal often signals the early stages of depression, cognitive decline, or other underlying conditions that affect motivation and emotional engagement. This symptom has a name in the medical world: anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. It doesn't always show up as sadness or tears. Sometimes it's just emptiness, a lack of drive, a flatness that makes the world feel gray. The danger here is not just emotional. When we stop doing the things we love, our physical health suffers too. Less movement, less social interaction, less mental stimulation. The brain and body begin to slow down together, reinforcing the cycle of decline. But here's the good news: you can break that cycle. And often, it starts with something small. Reignite interest by taking tiny steps. You don't have to feel excited to act, you just have to be willing. If you used to paint, try doodling for 5 minutes. If you love music, play a favorite song while making breakfast. If you miss your garden, step outside and water one plant. These little sparks of activity can gradually relight the fire. Also, don't dismiss the value of connection. Invite someone to do an old hobby with you, even if you don't feel like it yet. Sometimes, joy returns after the action, not before. And most importantly, if you feel like you've lost yourself, talk to someone, your doctor, a friend, a counselor. Losing interest in life is not a sign of weakness. It's a call for support. You deserve to feel curious, creative, connected. Those things don't belong to youth alone. They belong to anyone who chooses to protect them. Because life after 70 isn't about slowing down. It's about staying awake to the things that still make life beautiful. Sign 7, frequent stumbles, balance issues, or holding onto furniture. When walking. Let me ask you something. Have you recently caught yourself grabbing the back of a chair or sliding your hand along the wall as you walk through a room. Maybe you've stumbled once or twice and brushed it off. Maybe you move more slowly when you're barefoot or avoid certain shoes that feel too risky. These small, quiet adjustments might seem harmless, but they're often early signs that your balance isn't what it used to be and that your body is silently struggling to keep you upright. We tend to think of falls as accidents, and yes, sometimes they are, but more often than not, they're symptoms. They're your body's way of telling you, I'm losing strength, I'm losing coordination, and I need help. After 70, balance doesn't decline all at once, it fades slowly. Quietly, muscle mass decreases, reaction time slows, the inner ear, which helps control your equilibrium, becomes less sensitive. Even your vision plays a role. When all these systems begin to shift, even just slightly, the risk of falling rises sharply. And here's the hard truth: one fall can change everything. A hip fracture, a head injury, a long hospital stay, these can lead to a loss of independence, confidence, and long-term mobility. But the good news, balance can be trained. It's not something you either have or don't. It's something you can strengthen. The first step is recognizing the warning signs. Are you bumping into corners more often? Do you hesitate before getting up from a chair? Do you avoid walking in low light or on uneven surfaces? If so, your body may already be adjusting to subtle instability. Don't wait for a serious fall to take action. Talk to your doctor about a fall risk assessment. Consider working with a physical therapist who can guide you through simple balance-building exercises, things like heel-to-toe walking, single-leg stands, or gentle strength training. These aren't about becoming an athlete. They're about preserving confidence in your every step. Also, look around your home. Remove rugs that slip. Install grab bars if needed. Use good lighting. Prevention doesn't mean giving in to fear. It means staying ahead of it. You have the right to feel safe in your own body, to walk without fear, to move through your home with ease. Balance isn't just physical, it's emotional. 2, when you feel steady, you feel strong. And when you protect your balance, you're protecting your freedom. Sign 8, persistent, vague aches and pains with no clear cause. Have you ever woken up with a dull ache in your back, your hips, or your shoulders, and you're not quite sure why it's not sharp? And it's not from an injury, but it's just there, day after day. Some days better, some worse, but always lingering in the background. Many people in their 70s and beyond experience this. And more often than not, they shrug it off with phrases like, it's just old age, or that's normal at my age. Right, but here's the truth. Persistent, unexplained pain is not something to ignore. It might be common, but that doesn't make it harmless. Pain is your body's way of speaking to you. And when it sticks around, especially when it has no clear injury, trauma, or recent strain, it may be signaling a deeper issue: inflammation, nerve damage, autoimmune changes, joint degeneration, or even internal conditions that don't yet show up clearly in basic tests. The danger lies in how quietly this type of pain settles in. It affects your sleep, your mood, your ability to move, to engage, to enjoy life. It might make you sit more and move less. Over time, your muscles weaken, your circulation slows, and your energy drops, all because of something that started as a little ache. And because the pain isn't extreme, people don't seek help. They rely on over-the-counter pills, heating pads, or just grit their teeth and push through. Meanwhile, the root cause continues unchecked. So what can you do? First, listen, take note of where the pain is, when it appears, how it changes. Keep a journal for a week or two. This helps your doctor see patterns that might not be obvious in a short appointment. Second, Don't assume it's just age. Get it checked. Blood tests, imaging, physical evaluation sometimes. Identifying the source early can mean faster, simpler treatment. And third, be open to different solutions. Physical therapy, stretching routines, gentle anti-inflammatory diets, massage, acupuncture, even emotional support for stress-related tension can all help reduce chronic discomfort. You deserve to live without constant low-level pain. Aging doesn't mean suffering. It means adjusting, listening, and taking action when your body whispers before it has to shout. Every ache has a message. The question is, are you willing to hear it? So now we've walked through 8 signs, 8 quiet, often overlooked signals that your body might be in the early stages of decline, long before major illness or injury shows up. And if there's one message I hope you take from this video, it's this: don't wait for a crisis to start caring. Our bodies are incredibly wise. They whisper before they scream. They offer gentle nudges, fatigue, small pains, mood shifts, balance issues, not to punish us, but to invite us to pay attention. Let's quickly recap what we talked about: subtle changes in the way you walk, loss of appetite or dulling of taste, sleeping more, yet still feeling tired, memory lapses that go beyond senior moments, mood changes or emotional swings that feel unfamiliar, losing interest in things you used to love, trouble with balance or frequent stumbles, lingering aches and pains without clear cause. These may seem like small things in isolation, but together, they can paint a bigger picture of how your health is shifting beneath the surface. And the sooner you notice, the more you can do, whether that's seeking help, making lifestyle adjustments, or simply being more intentional with how you care for yourself. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment, because aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean awareness. It can mean deeper connection with your body, your mind, your loved ones, and it can mean choosing to thrive, even as the years move forward. So if anything in this video resonated with you, if you saw a little bit of yourself in these signs, please take a moment to act. Talk to your doctor. Share this with a friend. Start that journal. Make one small change today that supports your long-term health. And if you found this video helpful, I'd be grateful if you click the like button. It helps others find this information too. Subscribe if you'd like more honest, practical guidance on aging well, staying strong, and living with meaning after 60. And most importantly, listen to yourself. You know your body better than anyone else. Trust those instincts, because they may be telling you something that matters more than you realize. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.